Hello everyone. So just now we talked about how to open the IntelliJ and we did put the IntelliJ into our dock for the easier access. Okay. Make sure that this IntelliJ is already in your taskbar or on your desktop for easier access. And now in this video we are going to talk about how to create the Java project in IntelliJ, how to close the project, and as well as how to delete the project in IntelliJ. And this video will be dedicated for the Mac users. As for the Windows users, we will have separate video on how to create, close, and delete the project in IntelliJ. Okay, so Mac users, please open your IntelliJ. So when you open IntelliJ, it takes you to this welcome window. Okay, in order to create a new project, you need to click this new project, this button. Then it will take you to the new project window. This is the new project window. Okay. And then in this new project window, you see it is asking you for the name of the project. This is mandatory to give the name of the project. So on the left panel, make sure that new project is selected. And then in the first box here, in the first input box, you need to set the name of the project. So for example, I can name my project as Java Programming. And also, when you name the project, one more thing that you should know is that as a programmer, you are not allowed to use special characters other than underscores. So instead of using space here, please use the underscore. Even though when you give the space, it will still works. It's not going to give any error, but it's not a good practice. So I would recommend you to replace the space with the underscore. Okay. For example, this is the name of my project now. And next, after the name, you see, next input box that we have is the location. By default, every single IntelliJ project, every single project that you created in your IntelliJ application will be saved under this directory known as IDEA projects. Okay, this is the default directory. As soon as you install the IntelliJ, a folder named IDEA projects has been created in your operating system. Okay, under the users folder, there is a folder called IDEA project that is created. And we are going to keep this default location as it is so that next time it is going to be easier for us to find our projects. Next time, if I want to know which projects I have created in IntelliJ, if I want to delete some projects later on, I just need to go to this main directory, IDEA projects, the root directory of all the IntelliJ projects. Okay, so please do not make any change to this locations. Make sure that locations is selecting this IDEA projects. And make sure for now you uncheck this create Git repository. You don't have to create Git repository now, so please uncheck this box. And as for the language, make sure that Java is selected because that's the language that we will be using. And we are writing our source codes by using Java. Okay. And as for the built-in system, we use IntelliJ. There are also other built-in systems like Maven and Gradle, but we don't need them now. So please select this IntelliJ for the build system. And then next, it's going to ask you to set the JDK. So make sure that you already have watched the videos in the previous module to install the JDK. And which version of JDK are we using for this course? We are using JDK version 17. Of course, you could also use other versions like 8, 11, right? Just make sure that the version of JDK is the long-term version. And if you want to be on the same page with me, it's better if you keep the JDK version as 17. IntelliJ should be able to detect the version of the JDK that you have in your computer. So when you click this drop down, it should give you all the available options. If you only have installed the JDK 17, it will give you the option 17. For me, I have version 11 and also version 17. That's why I have two options. And besides those two, you see in IntelliJ, it's also giving you the option to download the JDK if you don't have any. Okay. So due to some reason, if you were not able to install the JDK, you could still download the JDK and install it through the IntelliJ. All you have to do is click this drop down, this JDK drop down, and then click this button, download JDK. It will ask you the version of the JDK that you want to download. This 1.8 is the version 8. Then we have 11, 13, because 12 is expired. And then we have 17, 18, 19, 20. So for this course, we will be using JDK version 17. So please select 17 and click download if you haven't downloaded yet. But if you already have downloaded the 17, if you already have installed it, and if it is appearing under this drop down, then you don't have to download it. This option is only for those who haven't downloaded the JDK yet. So next time, if you accidentally deleted the JDK in your computer, you could always install it from the IntelliJ. Okay. You just select the version here and then click the download button afterwards. For example, if I wanted the version 20, I will select 20 and click this download button. See, JDK 20 now is also installed. So now I have 11, 17, 20. But again, for this course, we will be using JDK 17. So I will select this version 17. And then next step, we don't need to add the sample code now. So please uncheck this checkbox if it was already checked by default. Okay. And in the advanced settings, those settings are set by default. You don't have to make any change to those settings at this moment here. The next step, you need to click this create button. Once you click the create button, it is going to open the project. And please maximize the IntelliJ window afterwards. Okay. So if you did not see this project window, that's because this project option has not been selected yet. If you click this project option, then it will open this project window. Okay. In the project window, you should have this Java programming, this project that you just have created. And under this Java programming, you should have SRC folder. And you may also have some other folders like out and .idea, those folders, right? The reason I don't have it is because because those folders are excluded folders. I made the IntelliJ settings to not show me the excluded folders. But if I disable that functionality, if I say it show the excluded, if I selected this option, show the excluded files, you see, now I also have this idea folder. And when you run your Java files later on, after you write your Java codes and when you run your Java codes later on, there will be another folder that will appear under this directory called out folder, which is the folder that is used for storing the bytecodes of your source code, the class files. But this out folder and idea folder, those folders are excluded folders. We do not touch them. So the best thing to do is by clicking this options button here. From the options, go to tree appearance and unselect this show excluded files, so that the next time you will not see this out and idea those folders, those excluded folders. Okay. Under this tree appearance, please only select this compact middle package folders always on the top. Okay. And show scratches and consoles, this option. Just make sure that you unselected this show excluded files. We don't need to see those excluded files and folders. Okay. And you see under this Java programming, by default, we do have this gitignore file. We don't need this gitignore file in our project for now. So you could do the right click and delete it. Delete this gitignore. Okay. So now under this Java programming project, I only have this source folder. And source folder color should always be in this color. And you also have, you see, in the project window, besides this Java programming, this project, we also have this external libraries, right? This external libraries is basically the JDK, the software development kit that you have in your computer. It says it's the version 17, right? Under this, you have lots of packages and files that are available. But we do not touch them. We are just going to use those sources to write our source code later on. So we just have created our Java project. And after finish creating the Java project, if you wish to exit the project, you go to File, okay, and then you have this Close Project option. That's how you close the project. And before you close the project, please make sure that the UI from your side is same with mine. Okay, the UI that I'm using right now is the beta version, the new UI. So in the previous video, we already talked about how we can enable the new UI. So you just have to go to the preference window. Here for the Mac users, when you select this IntelliJ IDEA here from the top left corner, you do have this preference option. In the preference option, under this appearance and behaviors, if you expand this, if you collapse this appearance and behavior drop down, you have this new UI. Make sure that it was enabled. Okay, if it is enabled, then you should have the same UI as mine. It is much more user friendly. And in order to close the project, after you finish creating project, if you want to close this project, you just need to go to the File and select this option, Close Project. Okay. Once you close the project, it will take you back to the welcome window. But as you can see, this time our welcome window looks a little different than the previous welcome window. Because now we do have a project in the recent projects option here. So if I want to open this project, I could just click it and it would open me the project. Okay. And now, what if this is the project that I did not want it to create? What can I do in that case? How can I remove this project? So if you wish to delete any project that you created in IntelliJ, you cannot just delete it from the IntelliJ itself. You need to go to the root directory of this project in your operating system. Okay. So the easiest way to go would be when you move the mouse over to this project in your welcome window, you do have this options here, right? Click this three dots. Once you click this options, it will give you the option called Reveal in Finder. You click this Reveal in Finder. You see, it took me to this IDEA projects directory. And then from this IDEA projects directory, I will select the project that I want to delete. So for example, this is the one that I want to delete, Java programming. I will right click and select this Move to Trash. Okay. So the project now is deleted from IDEA projects. If it is deleted from IDEA projects, if you go back to your welcome window now, you see the color of this project is in gray color now. If I try to open it, it gives me this option. It is giving me this error stating that this project does not exist under this directory. You cannot open it because the project has been deleted. It's no longer under this IDEA projects directory. So now the only option that I have is remove it from the list. Okay. So please create this Java programming project one more time by yourself because we will be using that project folder for our next modules. In the next video, we are going to go over those steps of creating, closing, and deleting projects in the Windows operating system. Thank you so much, everyone. See you all in the next video.